The Galactic Academy's cafeteria buzzed with the chittering, whistling, and humming of 100 different species. Bennett sat at a corner table, his tray carefully balanced as he transported it to where Daniela waited, reviewing their xenobiology notes on her datapad. Finally, Daniela said, glancing up with a smile, "I thought you'd gotten lost in the protein synthesis line again." Bennett grinned, setting down his tray. They had actual Earth-style pasta today. I wasn't about to miss that. The two humans had been at the academy for 3 standard months now, the first of their species to attend the prestigious institution. Most species treated them with curious respect, fascinated by the Death World natives who'd somehow achieved faster-than-light travel despite their planet's horrifying conditions. But not everyone was welcoming. A shadow fell across their table. 5 Krell cadets loomed over them, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the fluorescent lights. The Krell were known throughout the galaxy as fierce warriors. Their homeworld's gravity was 1.4 times Earth standard, and their reflexes were considered among the fastest in known space. The leader, a massive specimen named Thraxel, clicked his mandibles in what passed for a sneer. "Human soft," Thraxel hissed in broken galactic common. "Still eat prey food in academy? Should eat nutri-paste like real warriors." Bennett's jaw tightened, but he kept his voice level. "We're just trying to have lunch, Thraxel. Not looking for trouble." "Trouble?" Another Krell, smaller but no less aggressive, chittered with laughter. "Humans, always trouble. Come from weak gravity world, pretend to be strong." Daniela's hand moved to Bennett's arm, a warning. She'd seen that particular tension in his shoulders before. "Let's just go," she whispered. But before Bennett could respond, Thraxel's clawed appendage swept across the table. Bennett's tray, his carefully selected Earth-style pasta, the first taste of home he'd had in weeks, flew through the air and splattered across his uniform. The cafeteria went silent. "Oops," Thraxel clicked mockingly. "Human soft should be more careful." What happened next would be discussed in Academy legend for generations. Bennett stood slowly, tomato sauce dripping from his chest. His face was perfectly calm, but Daniela recognized the look in his eyes, the same expression she'd seen during their survival training on Earth, when instructors pushed them past what other species considered possible limits. "You know," Bennett said quietly, "there's something you should understand about humans." Thraxel leaned in, mandibles clicking with amusement. His 4 companions moved closer, surrounding Bennett. "What should we understand, weak thing?" Bennett's voice dropped to barely a whisper. "We evolved being hunted by our own planet." The first strike was so fast that most observers missed it entirely. Bennett's fist connected with Thraxel's primary sensory cluster, a human boxing technique adapted to alien anatomy. The Krell leader's exoskeleton cracked with a sound like breaking pottery. 2 seconds. The Krell to Bennett's left lunged, but Bennett had already pivoted. His elbow drove into the junction where the alien's head met its thorax. The cadet dropped, his neural cluster temporarily disrupted. 4 seconds. The remaining 3 Krell attacked simultaneously, the coordinated assault tactic that made them feared across the galaxy. But humans hadn't survived Earth by being slow. Bennett dropped low, sweeping the legs of the first attacker. As it fell, he drove his knee upward into its softer ventral plating. 6 seconds. The 4th Krell grabbed Bennett from behind, its grip impossibly strong. But Bennett had trained in Earth's full gravity his entire life, gravity that would crush most species. He twisted with a force that surprised even himself, breaking the hold and delivering a precise strike to the Krell's secondary heart. 8 seconds. The final Krell hesitated, suddenly realizing the mistake they'd made. In that moment of hesitation, Bennett moved. A combination strike, fist to the neural cluster, knee to the thorax, and a sweep that sent the alien crashing into a nearby table. 10 seconds. 5 Krell cadets lay groaning on the cafeteria floor. Bennett stood among them, barely breathing hard, his uniform still dripping with pasta sauce. The silence in the cafeteria was absolute. Daniela stood slowly, her datapad forgotten. "Bennett, I know," he said quietly, looking down at his hands. They spilled my lunch." The aftermath was swift. Medical teams arrived within minutes, rushing the Krell cadets to the intensive care unit. All 5 had suffered significant injuries, cracked exoskeletons, disrupted neural clusters, internal trauma. The medical staff worked frantically, and used to treating injuries inflicted by human combat techniques. Admiral Kreshnok, the Academy's commandant, a Valerian whose species had been warriors for 10,000 years, personally interviewed Bennett in his office. Daniela sat beside him, still processing what she'd witnessed. "Explain," the Admiral rumbled, his 6 eyes fixed on Bennett. Bennett met his gaze steadily. "They assaulted me first, sir. I responded with appropriate force to neutralize the threat." Appropriate. Kreshnok's translator barely captured his incredulity. "You put 5 of our strongest combat species in intensive care in 10 seconds. They'll recover, sir." "I held back." "You held back?" The Admiral leaned forward. "Cadet Bennett, those Krell cadets have gravity adaptation, enhanced reflexes, and natural armor. They train from hatching for combat. How did a human—" "With respect, Admiral," Daniela interrupted, "you've read our planet's classification. Earth is a Class 12 death world. Bennett isn't special. He's average for a human. We all grow up in 1G gravity, breathing corrosive oxygen, dodging predators that evolved alongside us. Every human at this academy passed the same training." The Admiral was quiet for a long moment. Then he touched his datapad, pulling up Earth's file. Daniela watched his eyes widen as he scrolled through the data. The gravity, the atmospheric composition, the list of predators, the evolutionary history of persistence hunting and endurance running. "You're saying," Kreshnok said slowly, "that all humans can do this?" Bennett shrugged. "I'm just a cadet, sir. You should see our actual soldiers." The Admiral slumped back in his chair, a gesture of defeat universal across species. "The galaxy," he said quietly, "is not prepared for humanity." 3 days later, Thraxel approached Bennett in the corridor, moving stiffly with his exoskeleton still healing. Daniela tensed, but Bennett remained calm. "Human Bennett," the Krell said, his translator making his voice formal. "I apologize. Acted with dishonor. Did not understand." Bennett nodded slowly. "Apology accepted. But Thraxel, next time someone offers you friendship, take it. You don't want us as enemies." The Krell's mandibles clicked in what might have been agreement or fear. Yes, this truth, Krell now understand. As Thraxel limped away, Daniela turned to Bennett with a slight smile. "So, about that lunch, the cafeteria is serving pasta again today," Bennett said, grinning. "And I have a feeling we won't be interrupted this time." They walked together toward the cafeteria, unaware that their story was already spreading across the galactic networks. The humans had arrived at the Academy, and the galaxy would never be quite the same. The message was clear: don't mess with a human's lunch.